Surprise! I am filming from my brand new craft studio. This video is sponsored by Create Room. They sent me a giant DreamBox. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a tour of the DreamBox, and I'm also going to show you all of my arts and crafts supplies that are inside. I've been wanting one for actually quite a few years, and my dream came true. They reached out. Thank you so much, Create Room, for sending me a DreamBox and all the really awesome accessories. Hold on. I got the Dream Cart too, so I'm gonna show you what's in this guy as well as that one behind me. I'm so much more organized now. If you want to purchase a DreamBox of your own, I have a personalized link. It's going to be in the description box below, and I also have a code that I'll put on the screen here. Go ahead and check it out. Now without further ado, I'm going to take you to the very beginning of my DreamBox journey. Let's go. Delivery day was very exciting for me, of course, but also for my sweet little guy, Goose. We were both so happy. Wow, that was super fast. Opening the crate was really easy. However, I knew I'd need help getting the pieces inside to my studio. My little muscles were not going to cut it for the biggest part, as you can see. Alright, that's where we start. So that's why a few days have passed. I needed to work around other people's schedules. No biggie though, I opted for the pre-built service, which is an add-on option, and it saved us a ton of time. After attaching the two doors, I worked on configuring the placement I wanted for my full set of clear in-view totes and shelves. The tracks were simple to secure and the totes slid right in without any hassle. Here is my initial layout of the jars, rods, and in-view totes. There are 3 sizes of totes, as you can see: large, shoebox, and notions. Now here I am unfolding the table. If I can do it, I think pretty much anyone can. The totes are all in, and I've gathered a ton of my craft supplies, so now it's time to fill her up. Over the past week, I had been moving supplies from my other studio and figuring out what I wanted to put inside my new DreamBox. Also, I was working on a mini pottery wheel video, so filming and editing that. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to link it in the iCard up in the corner as well as in the description box below. It's real cute and fun, check it out. Anyway, before the official DreamBox tour portion of this video, you're going to get to organize with me and turn this mess into something beautiful. More and more supplies are going to pop up along the way as well. I of course have other places to store my arts and crafts supplies, and not everything is going to fit in the DreamBox, but that's okay. I just want a majority of the things I use most to be displayed in one area. The storage drawers I already owned were tucked away in the basement and in closets, so it was really easy to forget about certain supplies. Not to mention, with this drawer specifically, I had thrown everything inside with no rhyme or reason, and a lot of the things were buried and or spilled. So these totes are definitely coming to the rescue. I wanted to save this bag o' buttons pouch. It's kind of cute, but they spill out the top if it gets tipped, so moving on to a jar instead it is. My duct tape collection was in the basement as well, so I'm hoping by displaying a few rolls on each rod, it reminds me to use duct tape for another project soon. By the way, I can be quite indecisive, so I'm very happy it's so easy to move totes and shelves around. I did this multiple times, and you'll notice that as time goes on, the love decor will end up being swapped out too. After working for many hours in a row, takeout sushi really hit the spot. This was a huge project. Here we are after the second full day of filling the DreamBox, and hopefully by the next day everything is in here and in the dream cart, and then after everything is done we can get back to crafting again. All the totes are completely filled, but now I'm gonna fill this shelf as well as the ones underneath. Finally, these 3 drawers. I also decided to get a paper organizer, but since I don't do a ton of paper crafts, I didn't want it to take up prime real estate in the DreamBox or the dream cart, so I'm going to store it somewhere else instead and then just bring it out when I want to use it. Now that the DreamBox is organized, I'm going to fill up the dream cart. In this one, I'm going to put mainly things for my business, so items that I can sell along with packaging materials. I chose to put supplies directly onto the shelves on one side, and I filled totes for the other. Okay, it's all loaded up. Let's do a close-up overview of everything inside. Starting on the bottom, I have a bunch of different UV resin supplies. Colorants, glitter, silicone molds, metal bezel charms, dried flowers. Next up, lots and lots and lots of stickers. One featuring a cat butt apparently. And on the other side, a wax seal making kit, which I'd like to test in a future video. It looks like fun. Here are a ton of mini bubble mailers along with a couple boxes full of my business cards. On the very top, a couple bins full of little squishy keychains. There are some bow macarons and cute panda buns. That's everything on this side. Let's go ahead and spin it around to the other. Over here, I have multiple packs of pastel tissue paper on the top shelf with a bold one thrown in. Next, this stack of square wood palette plaques that I'm planning to paint and or customize with a wood burner, followed by some one-of-a-kind art pieces I created. I still need to do some touch-ups and put a clear varnish on top of each one, plus some metal hardware on the back so they can hang on the wall. But I guess they're almost done. This shelf has some unfinished wood panels that are just itching to be painted, obviously. So are these bigger wood canvases at the very bottom here. And that's all for the dream cart. Now we are going to move on to the main event, the DreamBox. So announcery. Anyway, let's start at the bottom right here and work our way up the door. First up, some really cute plastic beads, colorful pop tabs, and pretty fabric bows. Then a bunch of different buttons in all sorts of colors and shapes. On top of that, a variety of some Krylon spray paint. This section has tons and tons and tons of paintbrushes. Mainly smaller ones, including the black pouch of detailing brushes from Amazon. I'll link those in the description box below if you're interested in buying some. Next up is this rod full of black and white patterned rolls of duct tape. I think this section looks super aesthetic. The colored bottles of acrylic paint just above also go really nicely together, followed by even more paint. Underneath the totes at the bottom are a couple plastic containers full of buttons, which are mostly sorted by color, and next to those is a cardboard tube from the detailing paintbrush set. It's actually empty, but I really like the quote. Next, I know you're familiar with the Tote-O floss for making friendship bracelets and such. I added some overflow buttons, so I thought you should see that. And of course, here's the famous drawer of zippers and other odds and ends. The ones in the back I got for a steal at a garage sale, but some of them look a little rough. Oh wow, look at me being a mega klutz here. Anyway, here are some Winsor Newton inks. I like that the artwork on the boxes is so different for each color. Above that, I have a set of Angelus leather paint. It happens to be right next to all these spools of thread. There's some Cricut fabric hiding in the back, and surprise! More buttons. Everyone needs some wooden cats in their life, don't you think? Next to that, I've placed a colorful set of Artistro acrylic paint tubes. Here are some giant spools of ribbon, a fabric purse that I sewed together a long time ago. It houses sewing things, ironically, like pins and needles. Don't forget the hedgehog buttons. This is a skinny tote full of Craftsmart acrylic paint, and another one directly above that. I have even more ribbon, including some for balloons, I guess. All these back here with a pretty black lace, and itty bitty minis too. This is a drawer full of rolls, Cricut vinyl to be exact. There's a bunch of different types. A triad of yarn-filled totes. Some are chunky, some are tiny, the little sugar and creams, and some are just yarn. I put more various string and trim in this section here. One little tote is full of paracord, then a collection of these Winsor & Newton pigment markers. Oh, and even more yarn. Some of these came from a garage sale, including the incredible Lion brand one. And over here I have a couple of mini knitting looms, since I don't know how to actually knit or crochet. The two of these totes used to be over by the left door, but I thought this side needed a little bit of sparkle, so they now reside over here. Even more colorful markers. One type is the Illustrator by Spectrum Noir, and the other is Aqua. I had to throw in a little bit of decor. These figures represent Leo and Goose. Then some more markers and pens, a set of Bic permanent markers, some Micron fine liners, Bic pens, and Papermate flares. To top this side off, there is a variety of tulip fabric paint in Glow, Slick, Soft, and more. Plus this brand new set of water marbling paint by Deco Art. Now let us tour under the table. These shelves hold a lot. Even though Crayola is by no means a professional supply, I still enjoy using their markers and crayons. They're very nostalgic for me. On the flip side, an expensive tin of Prismacolor colored pencils. Over here I have dozens and dozens of Polymer Clay charms that I handcrafted over the years. I do plan to sell a lot of these at some point. Here's a pack of Sculpey clay and a set of chalk pastels next to a mini Xyron sticker maker. On the middle shelf we have all these beads and charms, plus a Cricut paper cutter on top, some watercolor crayons, more Crayola crayons, a tin of drawing pencils, and a cool set of Artistro watercolor paints, which are on top of a bunch of Sharpie markers. I have scrapbook paper pads stacked at the bottom, along with so many different sets of plastic beads, some Dum-Dums candy wrappers, a little container where I keep my pencil sharpener, and even more jewelry making supplies, including chain, pliers, and various pony beads. Moving on up to the table area, I have my Cricut Maker pushed back in the cubby space, and the left-hand drawer houses my most used jewelry pliers, along with some metal findings and a pack of hemp string. You already saw the turquoise supply drawer in the middle, but let's look inside the pencil pouches this time. One has a bunch of blades and cutters, while the other has mostly pens with an eraser and glue stick. The drawer on the right is a quote-unquote junk drawer of sorts, but really they're all very useful supplies, which I believe should be a part of every crafter's collection, especially white gel pens and clear nail polish. We have reached the top middle section, which houses some of my absolute favorite types of arts and crafts supplies, and a pretty gold vase, of course. First up, Polymer Clay, aka oven baked clay, in a few different brands. In this next tote, I have paint palettes, mini canvases, tiny tubes of oil paint, and a few sets of watercolor paint. Look how pretty the metallic one is. Going down the right side of the totes, I'm going to start at the top with all these Sharpie permanent markers. I have paint pens and various other markers as well. Then more Crayola products, including a crayon melter and some mini stampers. How cute! This one isn't very full, but as you can see, there are various wood pieces inside. In this corner, there are a bunch of scraps from a random garage sale I went to. Here are more plastic paint palettes, some bottles of acrylic, and an assortment of fairly old and beat up paintbrushes, in case you don't want to ruin a good brush. Next, a wide array of fabric markers. Most are by Tulip, but there is a box of Crayola too. And sitting directly on the bottom shelf, I have a set of Artistro paint markers, in addition to a 72 pack of Copic Classic alcohol markers. On the left side, many Sharpies are sitting on the shelf. I'm gonna lay these out here in a second. Okay, here they are. A mixture of fine and ultra fine point tips, mostly limited edition sets because I kind of have a problem and buy every single new one that I see. One of the most popular art supplies on YouTube, Posca paint pens. I have quite a few different colors and sizes, as you can see. This is another drawer of wood-related things, including some sandpaper and my handy-dandy Versatool that I use for wood-burning art. Lots and lots of bigger paintbrushes. I actually want to paint on them and not with them, you know, so they can be art. Would you ever have guessed? Another tote full of Crayola products. Some of these are really old, but the colored pencils haven't been opened yet. The final middle guy, a huge 100 color set of Ohuhu alcohol markers from Amazon. All right, that means it's time to shift over to this left-hand shelving area. At the very bottom, I have a lone roll of washi tape alongside a full tube of washi tape. And next to that are some packs of colorful felt, a couple of Cricut cutting mats, and some sparkly iron-on transfer sheets. Above those, you're already familiar with the fluffy rolls of wool that I think kind of resemble cotton candy. But you haven't seen these needle felting sets yet, at least not the bird ones. I have made the hedgehog in a past video. This drawer has rolls of tulle, plus a few spools of ribbon. I love the rhinestone one. Then on top of that is even more tulle. You can probably guess the sparkly rolls are my favorite. Another drawer you've seen, one that looks like sparkly snow, kind of. Earlier this part was only string, but I scattered these pom-poms on top. Don't worry, this is the last set of pom-poms. Oh, and look, it features a couple of cat hairs. 2 full totes were assigned these bags of perler beads. You can see some were on clearance, and this one has stripes. Cool. Next to the beads are adorable rubber duckies and pudgy piggies, even one with a misprint snout that didn't get painted. I have so many rolls of vinyl that it got to be in a tote on this side of the DreamBox as well. Here is one of my absolute favorite drawers, a drawer full of sparklies, or shinies, as Mariah Elizabeth would probably say. Pearls, rhinestones, studs, cute mini sets that could be used for nail art too. Cute. This tote got a happy mushroom added to it since you saw everything in it last. Another of my favorite drawers, since it's quite unique, these Lego pieces can join together to make a heart. Plus behind those baggies are some heart-shaped resin pendants I created with glitter, sprinkles, and stickers. Above those things, I have a couple of totes full of metal jewelry making supplies. The first one has items mostly from an online shop called Bohemian Findings, lots of pretty charms and chain and star key rings. Then a mixture of open bezel charms for resin in all kinds of shapes. Mr. Teddy is such a cutie look. Flowers on flowers on flowers. Here's an overview, even though I showed these earlier in the video too. It's just too pretty. You partially saw these as well. I think it's good to leave extra space in some of your totes so it's possible to add even more supplies to them at a later date. Aren't these tiny tea set charms cute? Next up, I have a tote full of various bottles of glue, including a bear-shaped one and a fresh pack of E6000. This collection has lots of shimmery pigment powders and a few colors of micro marbles too. Here is a bunch of beading cord, string, and elastic. And this is an assortment of little wooden shapes. Can't say I've ever seen a wood corset before. My cute fox and owl figurine wanted to relax next to a pretty pot of flowers. We made it to the tippy top. Apparently it's full of glitter. There are 2 thin totes with shaker bottles inside, all different colors, and in these final totes you can find pony power buttons, dinos, smurfs, and cupcake cabochons, as well as colored zip ties, unicorn washi tape, glue guns, and glitter glue sticks. Chilling in the door over here, I placed 2 canisters of zip ties along with 3 bottles of Creatology glitter. Underneath those, a few bottles of Elmer's glitter glue plus some different finishes of Mod Podge. If you've made it this far into the video, leave me a comment telling me which pattern of duct tape is your favorite and which pair of scissors next to all these rolls of washi tape is your favorite. I use these oil spill scissors quite a bit, and fabric scissors are a must-have. They are great for cutting tulle, which is conveniently placed right below. And on the final 2 shelves, really cute beads and rosy cabochons, plus this entire row of foam and felt hearts. Don't you just love them? Pun fully intended, actually. Oh, and now for a satisfying moment. Well, mostly satisfying. By the way, I also got a crown piece to go on top of my DreamBox, and it lights up. Definitely a useful feature. Cool. You can see your crafting a lot better. As you can see, the dream cart expands, opens up to create some more table space, which means more room for crafting, of course. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to get a DreamBox of your very own, remember my custom link and code is in the description box below as well as on the screen here, so go ahead and check it out. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!